The opinions and views expressed in Political Talk belong to its commentators and are not those of Nexstar Media Incorporated, this station, or their affiliates or employees.
Welcome to Political Talk with Democratic commentator Dora Leland and Republican commentator Tom Santulli. Nationwide, shootings have been on the rise for months now, but after an especially brutal holiday weekend, New York is now the first state to declare gun violence a disaster emergency.
Today, first state in the nation is going to declare a disaster emergency on gun violence.
Is this a political move or a move to keep the people safe?
This is a very necessary move. Gun violence throughout the United States, shocking statistic, was up 75%. I know a lot of that is attributed to the effects of the pandemic.
Here's the problem, Zach. Let's go back to the Criminal Justice Reform Act that they passed. You know, a huge amount of this crime that's going on in the state is the fact that we have determined through the legislature and the governor, Democratic controlled, that they were going to give more rights to criminals than they do to law-abiding people. And, and everybody all of a sudden wants to forget about the defund the police movement. You know why New York City is such a mess? You know why Mayor de Blasio has got a huge problem on his hands? It's because he defunded the police. And because of that, and then rather than try to go and fix the cops that were abusing power, they decide they're just going to go after the police in general. That's the progressive Democrat movement. So now all of a sudden, all of our cops with any longevity have left the New York City PD. They've cut the size of the force. And now Mayor de Blasio, because he's under such pressure now, is going to say, oh, we're going to put all kinds of money, and so is the governor, to get the police back on the street. Well, come on. You turned your backs on the police department, and when you don't have law enforcement, you have more crime. That's the problem right there.
I wholeheartedly disagree to pin this on defund the police. Again, I think that that's a talking point from the right. That there's no effort to defund the police. What needs to happen is communities need to be fixed, and communities need to be supported, and communities need to be invested in. And we know that in the past, when we look at rising crime and say we need to increase measures of punishment, it doesn't decrease crime. All it does is disproportionately punish poor communities and communities of color. What we need to do is look at the root cause of where the crime is coming from. And it's because we're not investing in our communities, because we're not looking at the police as a resource, not as an enemy. And I think that this bill, part of this restructuring, is to have a healthy and a collaborative relationship between law enforcement and communities. That's how crime stops.
That will do it for this week's edition of Political Talk. For the very latest edition of Political Talk and past episodes, simply log on to our website, mytwintiers.com. I'm Zach Wheeler, and we'll be right back.